Hello, babes. Welcome back to the show. As you know, I'm your host, Kelly Chase. I have an awesome guest on with me today. And she lives right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We actually connected a handful of years ago, and I'll share that story in a minute. But you may know her if you are a reality TV junkie, unlike myself. um, she was on season two's Netflix, The Ultimatum. But she is a serial entrepreneur, has multiple projects, businesses. Her fiance also is an entrepreneur, which I just love that dynamic. And I want to say she's a fashion influencer, but I swear to God, she is a fashion statement. Like I literally the outfit, if you're watching on YouTube, the outfit that I'm wearing, which you can't totally see, I literally put this on for you because I'm so inspired by her outfits and I'm gonna give it a try while we're like doing the podcast. So I got
I
this
was
little
embarrassed that I come in blending into my closet.
but you look cute all the time.
Awesome. I was like, it's gonna be chill. Kelly comes in looking like she's about to do a runway show. I'm like, okay.
No, sometimes I mean, Grant, I legit have sweatpants on. Most of the time I'm like in whatever, but I did literally just change blazers because transitioning from work also. But anyways, everyone, welcome to the show, Roxanne Kaiser. Okay.
Welcome to the show, y'all. We're
Welcome.
excited. Honestly, Kelly, we should be doing this in person. I feel like we live right down the street from each other. Next
I know,
time.
I know. Honestly, I thought about it at about noon today and I was like, maybe we should text her and just be like, hey, maybe
For real,
I,
come over
yeah.
next time. Next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Maybe we can co-host and bring on someone crazy.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. That would be so fun.
Yep.
Let's do that. No, for sure. I do want to do more in person. So I don't even know why I didn't even suggest that. My brain is going like 90 to nothing
That's
these.
what happens. That's what happens in this world. That's why we're gonna talk about mental health, y'all. It's
We are going to
important.
talk about mental health. We definitely are. But yeah, so like I said, I've known Roxanne since before she was on the Ultimatum. She actually reached out to me prior to the airing of the Ultimatum, just being like, hey, you've done this before, like what can I expect and everything. And literally, I think the number one thing I told her was like, get a therapist if you don't already have one.
Did. She did.
It's
It's
fine.
so wild because it's funny how small communities are, and that's why communities are so important. I have known Kelly. She was supporting my business, my first business, Pace and Nip, from the start. Literally, when I first started having like these little parties around Atlanta, just trying to get brand awareness. She,
Yeah,
she
I mean,
was,
we're
she's been
here. We're
support.
gonna
Yeah,
get
there it
ready
is.
now,
She's
everybody.
up, and this is not a after net. This is not post Netflix. She was doing this 2 years before, three. I mean, I didn't even Netflix
Yeah.
wasn't even in the picture for me at all.
Right. Yeah.
At all. It wasn't even a thing. We had never talked about it. You were just supportive of women in Atlanta. I met you you were hosting some event and I met you and you were just
Wow.
awesome. Can we cuss on this? I always have to ask.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. No, we met at a fashion show here in
Mhm.
Atlanta. And y'all, I'm not kidding. I was like, I think I have a girl crush. Like this strikingly gorgeous girl just like walked around the corner in this like bright green, like snakeskin suit on with like just the cutest physique. I was like,
I got it. Hold on.
okay.
Hold on. Oh, now y'all gonna see my sweatpants too.
Oh, she's pulling it out. I love it.
It is, wasn't it?
Yes, that's exactly it.
I think
It's
I literally no, the bra is still on it. Look, I
oh
don't
my
think
God,
I've
I
worn it
love
since
that.
that night.
That it is it's such a fire. Like I was like, what is that? That was amazing. It was so gorgeous.
Oh, I have it. Do you want it? I'll never wear it again.
Yes, I will gladly take that off your hands. I will rep it well.
Not just Beans Cass. Everyone Beans. Look at her. Oh,
Oh
let me
my
show.
gosh,
Let go.
look.
All
Dude.
right. Just in case people are wondering what she's doing with her hands down here. I'm touching
Yeah.
beans. Like my cat beans, not
Cat
other
memes.
beans. Not any other beans.
Oh my
Hello.
God. Oh my gosh. Yeah, her cat has that for everyone that can't see. Just go to YouTube and watch this.
Yeah.
But her cat, what is broke his arm, leg? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, she broke her. She was playing hard and a chair fell on her paw and she broke her paw last week. So she got a major cast on. She can't really do much. So I'm just over here
Oh my God.
nurturing her.
It's so
So
cute.
yeah. Anyways, so I was gonna say I was just talking about the outfit. Then my cat. you've just been so great. And I reached out to Kelly before I went, or no, it was after I came back and I was freaking out, I think, right? Like, what's this going to be like? You've been through it. You're the OG. Kelly's the OG, man. She's been through it. She's been doing this life for years. And she was like, find a therapist. You'll be okay. Ignore the haters. Ignore what people have to say. I remember you're just like, people are going to come after you. And you
Yeah.
got to just get through it the best you can. And I mean, you wrote me paragraphs about what to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've been solid. You've been a solid friend here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Not to say it's funny. I should have actually taken my own advice and had like a consistent therapist this whole
Yeah.
time because I mean, I actually just on Monday had a consultation with a therapist just because like I mean, granted, personal stuff going on in my life, but I recognize like I really haven't talked with a licensed professional in a on a consistent basis about the quote unquote trauma from the show. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it still makes me emotional when I talk about certain things about the show.
Yeah. I
And I'm
mean,
like,
it shapes us, right? We
yeah,
sign up for that, but I don't think anyone really knows what it's going to be like until it happens.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. So you weren't doing this probably when you were filming Love is Blind, but I mean, I've had a therapist because I've been dealing with mental health issues for years before Netflix. And so I've had a therapist, I had the team. So I let the team know I was going to film. My
Yeah.
psychiatrist, my therapist, I was like, all right, everyone, be on standby. So like you know how it is when you film, you have like breaks between when like production, like the crew is there in the apartment, and like between I'd be like emergency session and like go in my car. And if I had my phone, I would have like a session with my therapist.
That's
'Cause it was
awesome.
really intense. And Antonio would join sometimes if we were allowed, you're not really allowed to talk.
Right.
So yeah, I've tried really hard to be on top of that. Having a therapist is so important. So
Yeah.
important.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I'm getting into it. I'm getting into the consistency of having it because I know it's I mean, granted, I've done like I feel like my lifeline, I've used a lot of coaches and they've been very helpful as well. Like
Yeah.
I've used a lot of coaches that are like trauma informed, some they do a lot of somatic work. So
Yeah.
I which has all been extremely helpful and I'm sure that has really done a significant, justice for me, but at
Sure.
the end of the day, I still feel like I have to talk about things.
Yeah,
And
and it's crazy because I have so many people going to my therapist because she's so amazing, and she's like, I have to cut off. Yeah, I don't think I can see as many people that are connected to you because it's like biased. So I think she's gonna cut people off, but there's other people in her office that are amazing. But
yeah,
you have to find a good one, and you have to find one. It's like dating. Finding
yes,
a good therapist is like dating. You got to find one that you like jive with. Because I went
right.
to like five different ones. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like your vibe ain't for me. Like this isn't it. It took me a while, and I
Yeah,
went in person to a couple, and I found one that I just loved. Like you
yeah,
just are comfortable with, kind of like friends and dating, like I said. So
yeah. And that was, my first experience with a therapist. I felt, granted, it could just have been how I perceived it, but I felt that she said one thing to me and I felt like it was very condescending. Like it was because of a romantic,
totally.
it was like an intimate relationship trauma situation. And, and you kept going back to him. That was
Oh yeah.
literally what she
See,
said.
don't
I was
judge
like,
me, man. Like my friends judge me, the world judges me, my parents judge me. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
I don't
true.
need another, all of that. No, like it was not good. So my mom picked me up from therapy that day and she was like, all right, did you book your next session? I was like, no, I'm fine. Healed, totally
You're like,
healed.
or you're like, I'm actually worse.
Yeah,
I'm not good. I'm not good.
not okay.
It's true though. Sometimes, and obviously they're all educated, they're all smart. It really is just jive. Like I said, who you jive with, like that's just not your person. Some people love that whoever you went to, and that's cool, but that's not your
Right.
girl or
Yeah.
guy, whoever you went to,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
person.
Okay. So I want to dive a little bit deeper with the mental health.
Yeah.
Let's first just talk a little bit about your experience just on TV, right? Like
Yeah. So,
how was
okay.
it for you?
My experience, I would say everyone has a different experience filming shows, right? Kelly, you've been in it, you know what it's like. Mine was a little different, and I do think it helps a lot that I did have a team, and that came with knowing some people who have been through it and kind of prepped me. And they're like, you do need to have these things in place because it is more difficult than you think. It is. People think it's like a walk in the park. It's the furthest thing from that. It is very hard to put
Yeah.
your lives out there for people. So my experience was not as bad because I tried to prepare,
Yeah.
right? So I tried to prepare myself. I made sure I had a therapist, I had my psychiatrist, and I had been using the Calm app. So I had all these techniques for meditation. So during filming, I was okay. I was
Yeah.
okay. Now, was it the most stressful experience of my life? Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
100%. I had never been, I feel like, more mentally challenged. I was challenged. I never cared in the world about like love and relationships. I think a lot of people said they were on the edge of their seats for the engagement episode because I
Mhm.
didn't know what I was gonna say. I didn't know what I was gonna say. Truly, I didn't know. I remember walking, it's fine. I love talking about this because I'm like, no one knows better than you. I
Yeah.
remember walking out of like the car you have to sit in forever when it's your time to go. And I'm like talking to the guy, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he's like, just go with your heart. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna go with my heart. So it's stressful. Like people are not day to day or not put in these positions.
No.
And I would say post filming has been hard,
Yeah.
hard, but again, I've been lucky, you and some other people in my life who have been very supportive and helped me. And I think as time goes on and reality TV is more and more and more, hopefully we have people like you who help so that it gets easier because it's not easy. There's a lot of hate out there, man. There's a lot
Yeah.
of hate.
Yeah.
My DMs daily are hate, truly. So,
Yeah.
you got to remember who you are. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that you said that about just having a team and preparing.
Yeah.
I definitely wish that I had a lifeline before my experience because I mean, a team of everything from, like I had a coaching business. I mean, I guess I still have a coaching business, but like it's like I had a business and like
Yeah.
even like marketing and the strategies behind, okay, you have this business. What are we going to do with our audience now and to continue to grow this business? Like, I mean, yeah, it
Hey.
was me doing all the things. I mean, I've never had it since, and I never had it leading up to, but I had my first like panic attack,
Oh,
whatever. I don't even know what they were. But literally a year to the day our first episode aired.
oh
Literally
my
it
God.
was
That gave me, I have literal chills because I suffer from panic disorder. You'll never forget the dates of all your panic
Yeah,
attacks.
yeah. Like it was crazy. It was Valentine's Day when the show aired, and it was Valentine's Day a year later, 2021, when I had my first panic attack. And the very next morning, I woke up both Saturday and Sunday, 6 a.m., heart racing,
Wedding.
my thoughts were like going on speed. And I'm like, what is happening? And I had never experienced it before.
No idea what was going on. You're like,
No
am I
idea.
dying? Am I having a heart attack? What's
Yeah.
happening?
I was
Yeah.
freaking out. I was
Yeah.
freaking out.
Freaking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, Kelly, with your experience, is like you didn't have I keep saying OG, but truly, obviously we all know about Love is Blind as this crazy franchise now, right? Like it is this insane thing. And you didn't know how to prepare because you didn't know how big that show would be. How do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah. Right.
You go on, you're like, okay, this is a cool experiment. Shit, man. You don't
Right.
know. You don't
Yeah.
know. That's a lot on your mental. And people will come at you, I'm sure, have come at you and be like, you chose this. You did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but also that's what happens when you're a go-getter. You do choose things that are risky, and sometimes there are mental consequences, and there should be no judgment for that.
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, I signed up for this project, but I did not sign up for you to be an asshole. That's your choice.
Yeah, you don't sign up for that part. You sign up for the part that you're going on there to be yourself and genuine and figure out something. And it sucks that you had to realize how terrible people are. You were the first. Thank you for being the front line.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So okay, so obviously you've had the team and everything. But I don't like yes, you have that support, but when you get that influx of hate messages, probably especially like when it first was airing for you, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like how were you dealing with that?
Um, Not reading them. Honestly, I would say I would read a couple and I wouldn't read it because to me, um, really trying to work on mental health for the last since 2017 is when I started having panic attacks. I've realized that, you just have to be strong enough to shut down anything that triggers. And I just refused to read some of that stuff. Now it sounds like it's been really easy for me, Kelly, but it's more, I've been working on this forever. Netflix didn't bring on panic for me. I've been dealing with mental health for a long time, for a long time. So I just felt lucky that, now I'm in a place where I'm seeing these messages like Europe. I mean, the messages, you've seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people are like, how do you deal with it? And I've seen other podcasts and people talking like I laugh it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like inconsiderate because it's not just I laugh it off. No,
Right.
it's I
Right.
laugh it off because I've been working for years and
Yeah.
years, like exhausting work to get to the place where I look at it, I'm like, man, I feel bad for you. I feel
Right.
bad for you.
Mm,
I'm okay. Like I'm good. I'm trying to elevate my life and be a good person, and that just sucks. You obviously are not well.
right. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great way to look at it. I think you're like, I mean, granted, I've been following your journey for a while now, but
you
your
have.
response, when you do like the Q&As and you do them often, or people like type in and they can say whatever they want to you, right? And it's like you do such a good job at even picking, because you don't have to select any of those messages to respond to, but the ones, even the ones that sound a little, insulting or whatever towards you,
Totally.
you've responded to them, but you respond with such like grace and perspective. Like it's been really just admirable for me to watch how you have handled all of it.
Thank you. It's hard. I mean, yeah, answering that, of course, the first thing I want to write, everyone's knee-jerk reaction to being shit talked is like, fuck you. But
Right.
that's not who I am. I'm not a fuck you person.
Mm,
So, I have to just sit back and be like, obviously, they don't see anything from my side at all. And I'd rather like try to educate and help this person. They don't understand what's going on. You know how that is. People don't understand what the hell's going on in your life at
totally.
all. So
Mm,
I'd rather try. Obviously, that gets exhausting because then you get the same messages all the time. But
right.
I'm like, I tried. They're not
Hmm.
listening.
Yeah.
I got so much hate for Antonio. Like the amount of hate for me being a bitch to Antonio was crazy.
Mm,
Crazy. How I'm just the fact that I don't want to marry him, I'm so mean to him, I shouldn't be so open and communicate my needs and wants with him. It was a lot. It was a lot.
mm, yeah. And that's what obviously only production is showing the world of how you are. And it's not, you know.
Well, what's funny, Kelly? I will say, so I think I'm able to answer those questions so well because that kind of was our relationship.
Mm, mm,
I wasn't going to marry him ever
right.
until he like got his shit together. He was on a different path than what I wanted. I needed someone who made equal to me. And the fact that how do you explain to 175,000 people that all I wanted was him to make equal money? I think that's reasonable. No one's going to listen. I think
Right.
that's reasonable. I just want someone who's an equal partner. I'm not asking for a sugar daddy. Shit. I wouldn't be with him. I could
Right.
try to find a sugar daddy. I love Antonio. I just
Right.
wanted him to reach his potential. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is what I want too. Everyone, it's like, why are you still like, it's like the number one question. It's like, are you dating anyone? Why are you still single? Kelly, you're such a beautiful girl. Why are you still single? Like, I'm like,
It's hard.
because, well, in my, I'm a big like manifestation, law of attraction person, and I do a lot of like inner child work and all that. And I'm like, I've written out a dream, like there's a note, a note section in my phone that is like my dream partner, all the things that I'm looking for.
I
And
love
it's
that.
not like physical, yeah, some physical attributes, of course, there are certain things I like, but majority of
Yeah.
it is like how this person makes me feel, how they're going to show up for me and our future children that don't exist yet. Like, what are they doing? Are they handy? Like, or different things. There's just so many,
Provide whatever.
yeah, that are like emotionally safe. I've been in so many relationships where I have felt dismissed or that I feel like that person doesn't care really about how I'm feeling about a situation because yeah, again, they're gonna just like, okay, they'll like hear me, but they won't hear me.
Thank you. And
They won't
that's
have
what I hear. That's yes, and that's what I hear from women all the time. Those are the other messages I get. How do I feel like I'm being heard or not dismissed? And then I'm like, well, that's crazy because that's literally how I am. I communicate. I'm like, this is what I need. If you can't fucking do it, then this
right,
isn't for me.
right,
So it's like you can't win, man. It's like
right.
that's and why can't you ask for those things, Kelly? You're a successful woman. You're a
Yeah,
boss bitch. You make your own money. Why can't you ask for those things?
yeah,
I don't
right.
get it.
You can.
And then when you do, why are we the bitch for just saying it out loud? I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. It's crazy. I mean,
Oh, I know.
yes, obviously they showed one side of me, which was very serious, and I'm not that serious, but it was very true that that's what I needed from him. Period.
Right.
Period.
Hmm.
And look, he's different now. He's a whole different person since that
Yeah.
show.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he has a business.
I
I'm
know.
like, oh, daddy's got it. I'm like, I don't need no dad. You're daddy. This is so nice.
I love that though, it's like,
Communicating, man. Got to do
yeah,
it.
yeah. My mom always said, shit or get off the pot.
It's true. It's fucking true.
Yeah, yeah. My
I
mom's,
love that people are always asking why you're not dating.
yeah, I'm like,
I said, come to Atlanta.
yeah, I'm like, well, I've dated and it's so fascinating too. Like I've never been a serial dater. I'm a seasonal dater. I literally will like date a little bit or maybe like entertain the apps for a little while and then 6 months will go by and I haven't gone on one date, but I'm focused on business stuff. I'm focused on just hanging out with my friends and family. Like
Yeah,
I'm not, and it's wild because I've had conversations with girls that are like in their late 20s and they're like, I'm freaking out. Like I'm almost 30. I'm not settled down. I don't even have a boyfriend, or I just got broken up with. I'm not like thinking about freezing my eggs. I'm like, I'm gonna be 39. I haven't thought about any of that. Like maybe I
yeah.
should. Maybe when I'm 45 and I still don't have kids, maybe I will be like, I probably should have froze my eggs. But like I don't have this pressure. And I don't know if it's like just because my parents are they're not pressing me. Like,
Yeah.
of course, my parents do want me to like fall in love, but they're not like, oh my God, like what,
I
should
think
or get
it's
off
good
pot,
though.
Kelly.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think that because you don't put the pressure on yourself, when
Right,
the time comes and if you want to get pregnant, you're going to be fine. Because
right.
a lot of the things with pregnancy is stress and mental health. Of course, there's things that happen with women, but usually it's stress. Like I can't get pregnant. And if you're
Yeah.
not worried, that's how I am. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna get pregnant as soon as I'm like, all right, babe, like, you know what time it is. I'm not worried. If I'm 39, 40, 41, 42, I don't want kids anytime soon. My
Right.
plan is like, 38, 39, 40. I'm good. And
Yeah.
I wish women who felt that pressure just would, uh, like, like, don't
Yeah.
worry. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Totally. I thought the other day, I mean, granted, it's obviously just my opinion and everything, but I'm like, okay. And also, I don't know what things were in the past, but I feel like it's just so like maybe there's just more awareness. I don't know, awareness around it, but I feel like so many people have, and not to be insensitive, but a lot of people have like IV, like
Yeah,
fertility issues. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I know that obviously there's a lot more like chemically processed foods and so much more like
totally.
medication and drugs and all the things going on, while also all of that puts so much stress on the body, not
100%.
let alone all the environmental factors and your relationship factors and financial factors and all of that. But it's like all of that combined. And now you have chemically processed foods, people that have been on birth control for 15 years and then they come off of it. And like, I mean, I was that girl. I'm like,
You were on birth control?
I haven't been
Oh
on birth
man.
control in 11 years.
See, there's something about birth control that freaks me. I've never been on it.
Good.
Granted, I've endo, but like,
Yeah.
man, it scares me. That a pill that does that to women's natural hormones is scary. And I know some women have to do it, but it is, if you don't have to do it, I'm like, don't put that in your body.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. I
Yeah.
just, I guess back in the day, like even I've had this conversation with my mom in the last recent years, and I said something like, "Well, you suggested I get on birth control," and she was like, "No, I didn't." And I go, "Well, I mean,
Why am I on
I was
it?
starting to like have intercourse, you know," and she was like, "Yeah, but I probably said something about it, but I wasn't meaning, I probably meant like use a condom, pull
Yeah.
out, like that, not like get
You're
on
like,
birth
shit,
control."
mom, no one wants to see the condom. Come on.
Right.
Let's be real, mom.
Let's be real. Oh, exactly. So, but yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I just, but
It's true though. That's the other thing. I'm not even a wellness like girly. I obviously do everyone, that's another thing. Everyone's like, what do you eat? Like, how do you say? I'm not like a fitness junkie. I'm not a wellness junkie. I try my best to do what I can because I think if you dedicate your entire life, you're very good at it. I see your meals and I'll screenshot them and I'm like, I'm gonna
oh,
cook that. I'm gonna cook that. That
girl.
fancy, healthy pasta and the salmon. She's got a crazy breakfast. Um, but I try, but I do think there's something to be said with putting all those what fake shit in your body, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm trying to not eat like, the chips and the Cheez-Its, but I will not stop eating Taco Bell. I won't. I
Yeah.
fucking won't. You cannot stop me. I will like eat a grapefruit for dinner, but I will not stop eating Taco Bell.
Hilarious. That is so funny. It's so funny. I hadn't had Taco Bell in a long time, and last year I was like driving somewhere, but I had to stop and get something to eat. I was like, oh my God. And so I went to Taco Bell,
You
and
made the right decision.
oh, it was like, yeah, I'm like Chick-fil-A, and I only get the same thing at Chick-fil-A. Like I get grilled chicken nuggets and like waffle fries. It's like the
Yep.
only things I'll get there. But I've never, not to say I've never. We were vegetarians when we were younger. So we were like, and
Oh,
my parents were very like dialed in nutritionally. So like fast food was like not in the equation at the Chase household. Granted, high school came, I could drive, I would go to Wendy's all the time and Taco Bell and all the things.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, but as I've gotten older, obviously I've reduced a lot of the fast food intake also. But I went and
Well,
stopped at
what'd
Taco.
you get? What did you get?
So I have to, if I go to Taco Bell, I get a cheesy gordita crunch with chicken. It's my fave.
Man,
I
That's not
mean,
what I
it's a
that's not
pita.
what I get, but that's okay.
It's a
That'll do.
pita. It's a taco. And then there's cheese on the outside of the taco and a peanut wrapped around it. It's
Oh
so
man,
good.
double layers. Did the same thing every time. Well, it's funny is I was a vegetarian for 1 year when I was at school, when I was at Georgia Tech. It's very hard to be a vegetarian, first off.
Yeah.
There's not as many options as there should be. I
Yeah.
hope there are more in the future, good options. And side note, it was the best I ever felt in my life. Being a vegetarian, truly. I
Yeah.
took the best shits in my life when I was a vegetarian.
Wow.
You're like the smoothest little poops in the
Yeah.
world. But if you are one, I feel like Taco Bell's the best. They have like the best vegetarian option.
Oh,
Anyways, we got Taco
yeah.
Bell.
Yeah, yeah. But otherwise I get like a bean burrito, no onions.
Oh my God. A bean burrito. I hope you're going home after.
Yeah,
I will
well.
be if I'm eating a bean burrito, I will be by myself in bed. I'll say even if Antonio, I'm like, get out.
You gotta sleep somewhere else.
Yeah, no, not in this bed after beans. Mm-mm. My cat just woke up. She said, beans?
Hello? Oh my gosh. Um, hold on. I'm gonna ask you something about something. I kind of spaced.
I know. We got off track talking about
We
Taco
started
Bell.
talking about Taco Bell. I was gonna ask
Is it
you,
something I said?
no, not recently. It was something from before. Just like you mentioned, like your panic attacks, something
Oh
that
yeah.
you've been dealing with for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Um, when did that start for you? Do you like remember?
Hell yeah. My
Yeah.
first one ever, like you knew the date, the time, like everything about it. I didn't know what it was. You know what's funny? And this is probably the most insensitive thing I could say about people who deal with anxiety. Obviously, I have it now. But I
Mhm.
remember back then being with my friend or family or whoever would be like, I'm anxious. I'd be like, what is that? Like what is that? You good? You're okay. Like you're fine. No, man, it's like a real thing. How insensitive in my 20s to be like that to people who had it.
Well,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, my first one, I was in San Francisco. I lived in San Francisco for a while for my job, and I was out there by myself. I lived by myself in San Francisco, and I woke up same as you. I thought I was sick, so I took some cold medicine, went to sleep, woke up, and I was in a state of panic. Literally, like you said, heart was racing,
Mm.
sweating. I didn't know what was going on. Truly, like for someone who's never been through it, think about like fight or flight. When you think of that definition, that is what you're in. Like, what the fuck is happening? I feel sick. I'm gonna puke. I think I'm gonna shit my pants. My mouth is dry,
Yeah.
sweat on my body. And the first time I ended up passing out, I always pass out because I can't catch
Mm.
my breath.
Wow.
I'm a big passer outer. It's
That's
very
scary.
annoying.
That's scary
It's
too,
so
though.
scary.
Yeah.
And it's always when I'm naked. I have to stop. This has to stop. See, we're laughing about it, which is good, but it's,
Yeah,
scary.
no, that is scary. It's
Because like
scary.
I'll have them in the shower and I have to get out because I'm hot and flustered, and then I'm naked and I pass out. And I'm like, oh, this has to
Yeah.
stop.
Huh.
I
It's
know.
it's interesting too. So like the panic attack, I mean, again, I haven't had them since, thank goodness. I mean, I like
Oh, you haven't.
mhm.
Oh,
It
that's
was literally
amazing.
was like so it was onset because of just that stress. I mean, so when Love is Blind aired, I was working a full-time job that was paying me literally like $40,000 a year, maybe less than that take home. So I was like paycheck to paycheck. I was working liquor promotions to help, like I had been doing that prior to trying to help pay off debt that I had incurred.
Mhm.
Uh, and then now it's like I have 500,000 followers that are going off the rails. And then I have all these brands that are like, create content for me, create content for me. And honestly, yes, I declined some of them, but most of it, I was like,
You
yeah,
were
sure,
down.
I'll
Yeah.
make whatever, I will make whatever content for anybody right now because I gotta pay off this debt.
Out
I'll
that. Yeah.
hellhole. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't care about anything. And it was so bad. So I was like working the 9 to 5, going like, I felt like I had like 10 jobs,
That's
10
so much.
full-time jobs. It just felt like I had 10 full-time jobs. I was never able to like catch myself. And there were days, I mean, granted, and then like obviously COVID. Now we're all really trapped in our house. So it's like the mental health
Yeah.
of that aspect on top of
Yeah.
everything. Um, I'm not prescribed Adderall, and I wasn't taking it every day, but I had friends that obviously had some. And so I would like go bum some from them. Luckily, I only take like 2 to 5 milligrams and it sets me good
It
for like
gets
eight
you
hours.
done. Yeah.
But I had to do it to like stay focused and work and everything. But
That's a
it's
recipe, man.
Oh my God, it was crazy. And then so on the week, like Friday came around, I was like so dead. Saturday, there were a handful of Saturdays that I would sleep, go to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock, wake up at a solid 12 hours later and feel like I had not fallen asleep.
Oh,
I
wow.
was so tired. And I'm like, Kelly, just get like like go outside and like ground yourself. Cause I've been obviously learning about those tools and everything. And I'm like, so I went to the park on those Saturdays and I would just like lay on the grass and not do anything. Um, and so it would like rejuvenate me and
Awesome.
make me feel a little bit alive. And then Sunday I felt better. And so I was able to kind of like maybe go do something like with my friends or Saturday night, right? With
Yeah.
my friends. And then it would like start all over again. Like as soon as like I would be okay, like come Monday, but then like by
Okay.
Tuesday, I was like tired again. And I'm like, oh my God, here comes the Adderall or the coffee or the energy drinks or something. And so it was like that for a year.
That's so terrible. But that was consistent. Like the anxiety and tiredness is like a huge side effect, right? When you're super anxious, you're sometimes people cope with it, but it's silence. Like you're just tired and you're silent and it's just this exhaustion. But you've only had the panic in that time period and then you never had because panic attacks, the disorder is like
Mhm.
the fear of having a panic attack again because you've
Wow. Okay.
experienced it.
Mhm.
So you never had that. I'm so happy you never had that.
Yeah.
Truly. Like I could not be fucking happier for you that that never happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But I do have like this happened prior to all of this and it wasn't related, but I do have like a compromised vagus nerve, which
Yeah.
is all connected to all of that, but because of earlier things that I did. But sometimes like that is my biggest thing when my vagus nerve gets all cray cray. That's when I get like extremely hypoglycemic.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I've only actually passed out one time, but I was luckily like in a doctor's office. But otherwise, like whenever I have to like get blood drawn, I am laying down, crossing legs, talking to someone, looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook. I have to be completely stimulated in order for them to like draw blood from me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but if I get overheated, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm
Not
getting
good.
heavy, getting clammy. I need to like get in the air condition real quick, lay on a hardwood floor, something like
Totally.
situation. And like workouts for me, this was a part of why I really hadn't been doing like, and granted, I don't love doing HIIT workouts anyways, but like I like just doing like low impact, soft kind workouts and like yoga.
Come with me. I'm the softest workouter there is.
I like soft workouts. But I started to like incorporate a little bit of HIIT last maybe a year and a half ago. And I remember I got on like one of those like bikes, like the ergonomic bikes that you have to like just go super aggressively. And it got my heart. It's like when my heart rate gets really like
Yeah.
strained and it feels like it's like hopping out of my chest. That's when I'm like, oh,
That's crazy. That's a real thing.
yeah,
Isn't that
yeah,
crazy that even working out, which is supposed to help that,
right.
makes it worse for you?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, yoga is good. And
Yoga's good.
I thought doing hot yoga was gonna activate that, but the hot yoga has been okay. Like I haven't had it.
Pilates is good.
Yeah,
Well, like
yeah.
not Pilates, but like what's the Pure Bar? What's the name of that? That kind of
Bar,
workout.
like bar work.
Bar class. I feel like that's good. It's like low impact,
Right.
chill.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why do you work out in sweatpants? I'm like, because I ain't working out that hard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I would rather just like lift heavier, like do some like, you know, just
I
low
probably
like, strength training, yoga, walking. That's my jam.
So
Dancing.
have you ever tried meds like anti-anxiety? Have you ever been on anything? Oh my,
No. Mm-mm. I went to the doctor. I probably, I don't know, probably in like 2021. I did wind up going to the doctor and they were like, we can, I think he wrote me a script for like a really low dosage of anti-anxiety. But I told him, I was like, I have learned, different modalities as far as like exercise and meditation and
yeah.
that and breath work. I said, and I have not consistently been doing any of that. I
Yeah, you
said, so
gotta do it every day.
yeah. And so I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, let me try and get a routine back and going again. And then if I still feel like I could use some help, then I will
Try
do it.
it.
And like I said, I mean, yes, there are days that I feel a lot more stressed, but nothing compared to like those two
That,
panic.
yeah. Yeah. I will say I'm not an advocate at all for meds, but I do say there's a period for everything. And sometimes if you're in such a desperate state with panic or anxiety, it's okay. There's like a
Yeah.
stigma around those meds. Like it's okay if you need to be on them for a little bit.
Right.
I've been on and off of them since 2017. Do I prefer to be off of them? Dude, yeah, of course. Because it, changes you a little bit. It numbs you. It helps with anxiety for sure, but nobody wants to be on them. But it's
Yeah.
okay if you are, man. Like that's what they're there for. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um, I am
I,
trying my hardest to do like natural supplements, right? There's a lot of natural supplements you can take now.
yeah.
See, watch out. New
Yeah.
company. I mean, because I want to be off meds, man, because I do feel like it dampers your personality a little bit. And I think that's like the thing, it's like sex drive, your personality, weight
Or
gain, like these are all things that truly are associated with these meds. And that's just
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I spoke to someone actually on Monday who she was like, yeah, I was like I guess diagnosed like bipolar and she had a lot of things going on
Yeah, yeah.
years ago. And she was like maybe 6 months ago, she said that she had finally like came off her last prescription and she had, I guess, really focused on healing her gut brain barrier
Yeah, that's a
and like
real thing.
did like parasite cleanses and things like that.
Yep.
And she's like, I swear to God, that was like what it was. She's like, there's a parasite that, and no offense to Beans here, but she said something. It was like there's a parasite that is directly linked from cats.
Yeah.
That really, it's like the mindset, like the mental health.
Yeah.
Parasite or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I grew up with cats.
You're like, is that why
Is
I'm
that why?
wait, I've had cats my whole life and I have two now. Maybe that's why I'm all messed up.
No, you're not. Stuff. No. But it is true. Like just I want, another reason why I like relaunching this podcast, obviously talking about mental health, I want that to be a normal thing that people feel like they can talk about. It runs, deep in my family. And, that was another thing. I posted something the other day and I was like, I just feel like I have like me relaunching the podcast is not just me because I want to like talk about things. It's like I literally like I can see this like vision. This is my life passion, like my purpose. Something is
Yeah.
here. I don't know what it is yet, but like something just like
I mean, you feel it in you, man.
my
This is like
body.
you were doing coaching before all of this. So that
Yeah.
you've always had a passion, obviously, for this space.
Yes.
And I do think now more than ever, it's the time to jump in because it's a different world we're living in. My mom coming from Iran, if you said you had anxiety in the Middle East, they would be like, we're going to kick you out of this country or this house. Like, you know what I mean? You were not allowed to even mention that. Like, that was not a thing. And it's
Right.
sad. And that's why so many people just feel like live their lives in depression or like live their lives with anxiety because they don't want to talk about it. But there's like
Yeah.
solutions. There's fucking
Yeah.
solutions.
There
Just
are.
there's still stigmas. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane in 2024. And this is what I know after being on the show. You would think being an independent baddie, people would be like, yes, ma'am. No, stigmas still with like wearing a ring,
Right.
stigmas with mental health and saying like I'm on meds. It's crazy. And I do
Yeah.
think you talking about it, Kelly, is a positive impact. It is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad, someone like yourself also is open to sharing and talking about it too. It's just the more that we open the dialogue, like I don't want people, I think, okay, I heard this growing up. I mean, probably one of my like biggest inner wounds, my child wounds, I guess, is, and it's nothing against my parents, it's probably things that they heard too growing up, but it's like,
Totally. Totally.
you do something and your parent, why'd you do that? What's wrong with you? Right. And it's like, so of course, when we're 4 years old to 8 years old, we're gonna like our subconscious is wide open and it's like, yeah, what is wrong with me? Like there must be something wrong
Ah,
with me. We go through life and we become these people pleasers because there's something wrong with us. And like it's just so systemically like through and like programmed, generationally programmed and all of that. And I
yep.
mean, even around therapy, I love the fact like my parents routinely go to therapy right now. And I
Love
love
that.
that because, and my mom has been to therapy in the past, but not totally consistently. And it's totally fine if you don't. But I think there was a bit of a stigma around that, like, oh, like I'm going because there's something wrong with me. And it's like, no, like there's a girl here in Atlanta, another local Atlanta
Yep.
girl who once told me, she was like, yeah, my siblings and I, we've been going to therapy since we were like 17. And I was like, why? And
Just
because that was
because.
like, this was like 10, she was like 28 years old. It was for 10 years. And she was like, I don't know, my parents just thought that it would be like really helpful to help us grow.
I
And I was
love
like,
that.
that's amazing.
I love that.
I do too.
Because there's weeks where I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, I don't really have anything to talk about. And then my worked, the Roxanne that I've been working on for years, I'm like, something will come up. Something will
Yeah.
come up. When you're in therapy, something will rise in the conversation because they know how to poke. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're crying. And you're like, damn, I didn't know that was in there. That's wild as hell. I'm good, but obviously I'm not good.
Yeah.
Not good. It's true though, because you think you're good, but everybody has shit. And anyone who's trying, if there's people out there trying to act like they don't have shit going on,
Yeah.
it's not true. It's
Yep.
just not fucking true.
Yeah. I agree. Oh yeah. I got lots of
And,
shit.
right? I mean, we all do. And I also think that we are the generation, like you and I's generation, is the start, the end to not talking about it and the start of talking about it, right? And then
Mm,
everyone after us is like, let's talk about it. And that's
yeah.
just great. It's
Oh,
awesome.
I love it. I
Yeah.
know. Let's all talk about it all the time.
We should. We should. I'm here.
Uh, okay, so yeah, this is gonna be. I bet. I just feel like this is gonna be such like a great mental health podcast.
We'll be, babe.
Okay, so you graduated from Georgia Tech, which that is so amazing. Like,
Long
amazing.
journey, long
Yeah.
journey. Yeah, it's funny. I've had a lot of questions about the Georgia Tech thing. Why'd you go there? Or people are shocked to see that I went there. I wanted to go there. My parents are
Awesome.
engineers. They went to Purdue. They both are civil engineers. And I think because, immigrants, I felt like going to school is not an option. Like I was going to school, period, because I just know what my mom went through fighting for her rights to go to school, and it's amazing we have opportunity to go to school here. So in my head, that was it. I'm going, and if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go to the best school. I was a little bit of a partier. Where'd you grow up, Kelly? I can't remember. We're in
I grew
Atlanta.
up- Yeah, Loganville. So
Oh
like an hour
shit,
east.
right
Mhm.
next to each other. I was at
Yeah.
Grayson.
Really?
Yes, we probably partied together. We probably partied together
Gosh.
because we live like closer to Loganville side.
Yeah, yeah. How old are you again? What are your age?
33. I'm about to be 34 this year.
Okay, all right. So we're 4 years.
No, I was hanging out with y'all.
We're 5 years apart.
I was hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't like partying, so I've never done drugs. Fun fact. I don't know if that's fun. Actually, people are like, that's actually not fun at all. But I've never done drugs. So whenever I say I partied, I just like wanted to go out and I wasn't allowed. My parents were pretty strict. I just wanted to go hang out and like be with my friends and drink. You know how it was out there? Like we just
Yeah.
would drink at everyone's house. Like everyone was just hanging out drinking all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone was like, no way, Roxanne, you're not gonna go to tech. That's what everyone said to me. Like I wasn't gonna go to tech. I wasn't a tech girl. And I was like, y'all fucking watch. I love a little bit of hate to get me somewhere they think
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be.
I love
For
that.
real. For real. Every time. I turn the hate into like fire. Every time.
I love that.
Yeah. So went to tech and I was not a normal tech person, truly. Georgia
Mm,
Tech is so tough. At the time, it was like 80% guys. It's like
right.
15 years ago. It was all dudes. It was so hard. I felt like these people were just passing, like not studying, doing these crazy tests. I was in the library 24 fucking 7. I was
Wow.
studying all the time. I did not have like a regular college life. I was in the library all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very hard, but I was determined to go. I wasn't going to fail out. Everyone like fails out their freshman year at tech. And I
Yeah.
graduated, took me 6 years. People were like, 6 years? Like, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna graduate like high honors, and I did it.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
tough. Georgia Tech's no joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw the other day you needed like a 4.3 to get even be considered for tech. I was like,
Wow.
that's insane.
How is that even possible?
I guess it's all the AP classes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Grayson had like one AP class, and I was
We had a couple of AP. I was in AP English, and I think that maybe that was it. But
yeah, we there was not much on where you
uh,
and I were.
yeah, I'm like, that was it. And I got deferred from UGA the first time.
I mean, UGA is a tough school too.
Yeah, yeah. But it's more tough now to get in there also.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I just, And then I got I pretty much got a degree. I got a degree in fashion merchandising at UGA. Did you know?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I never did anything with it. It was one of those things like I did not, that was when I was first introduced to Adderall because the tests were so crazy. And I was like, I am so not even passionate about this that I have to do Adderall to
It's
focus.
funny, people think fashion merchandise is like super fun, but it's super technical. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a technical program. Like
Yeah.
the buying process, all that's not easy at
Right
all.
now, learning all the textiles and all the things, like it was crazy. Anyways, my sister, she's a year older, she went into fashion merchandising, and I literally just didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. People have listened to my episodes in the past, like they know my story. Like when I was younger, people would ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm like, a teacher, a baby doctor, or an actress. Those are the
Oh,
three things.
wow.
And that's all fun and games until you're 16 and you have to go to college. And they're like, well, my mom was a teacher for almost 15 years. And she was like, it's so political. Like, it's not even fun anymore to be a teacher. She's like,
It's
and you don't
true.
get paid. Like, this is
No.
probably be the highest paying job and it's the worst paying job.
Yeah.
so that was, discouraged for the right reasons. And then the doctor thing, my parents were like, Kelly, you just finished like 10 years of school and you'd have to go to like another 10 years of school. Like, do you really want to do that? And I was like, no, I guess not. And then like acting, that's like super competitive unless you know somebody, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know what I want to do then.
You're like, I guess it's fashion. We'll see.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was your first job out of UGA?
Um, I first job I interned at Vanity Fair Intimates. But it
Okay.
was just the internship for me to like graduate. And then after that, I literally got recruited by a staffing, like a girl who had graduated a semester before me. She started working at a staffing company.
Yeah.
She knew I was graduating and they had an open position, so she recruited me onto the team. So I worked for a staffing company. I've never
That's
done fashion
crazy.
ever since.
That's
Like,
usually everyone says that, right? Everyone's like the degree you get, you usually end up not doing at all, which
yeah.
I actually did exactly my degree. So, but it usually doesn't
Right.
happen.
Yeah, yeah, oftentimes. But yeah, anyways, and then the entrepreneurial thing just kind of like fell into my lap. So
And either you have it or I know this is super frank, but like either you have it or you don't. I feel like you can't really just acquire entrepreneurship. I think it's like innately, and you have always said that. This is nothing new. You have to be, I guess Antonio's different, but he had it in him. He just needed a little bit of push.
right, right.
But you gotta have that drive, that motivation, and you probably had it in there. You just didn't know at the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my first 10 years of the 9 to 5 life, I felt like I was on a hamster wheel just going through the motions every day. Like, I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. So I worked for,
Waking up, going to
yeah,
work.
like it was just like, and I love the coworkers. Like I worked at one company for almost 8 years and I I got to travel with it. I love the people that I got to see every day, but I was not passionate about it. It was like I was working with like motocross and supercross and all this
Oh
like
yeah.
so we sold the electronic scoring systems for like NASCAR,
Okay.
motocross, supercross, all the things. So I got to
Yeah.
go to racetracks and races and it was super fun in that regard, but I still wasn't like, okay, this is
Passionate. Like it
I
wasn't for
was
you.
passionate. It wasn't
Yeah.
for me. And then I started like the coaching stuff and I was having, clients be like, you're changing my life, all this stuff. And I'm like, I've been working in corporate America for 10 years. I've never had anybody tell me I'm changing their life. So
Because
I
they don't
started,
care.
yeah,
Sorry. They
yeah,
don't.
right, right. I'm like, so it was just like a thing. Anyway, so I left corporate America in 2017 and that was like the first time I just pursued that coaching and like personal training back then.
So how long were you doing the personal training, the coaching
Mhm.
before you went and filmed?
I 5 years. So I started coaching in
Oh,
2013 and we started filming in 2018.
damn. Okay, you had that for a while.
Yeah, yeah. But the first, like, I left, like I said, like, I left corporate 2017. So only a year I had
Yeah,
my own
fully.
and
Yeah.
fully. And in
Okay.
2018, earlier that year, like literally 5 months before filming, I invested in my first business coach. And she taught me how to create digital courses, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, this is awesome. I made 75% of my investment back because
From her.
we created a digital course while we're going through a program. I was selling it online,
Yep.
made 75% back. And then I think it was like 3 weeks later, we started like filming for Love is Blind.
Damn, that's amazing. It just goes to show some investments are amazing. When you
Yeah.
invest in yourself and you invest in the right people, you make it back tenfold because you also learn a bunch. So
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of just entrepreneurship, what has that journey been like for you? I know, besides the show stuff, it still has been, it's affected my mental health, just my business stuff alone. Like I feel like it is a spiritual fucking roller coaster.
it is. It is. I mean, so you're asking how has it affected my business?
Or just like, no, like how has entrepreneurship for you just been since, whenever you started your first project,
Oh
like
man. I mean, so it's funny because the most hate I got, well, Jesus, I don't know if you saw this shit, Kelly, but all the a lot of the hate in the comments is like all that business talk, and she just owns like a pasty company. I mean, that's my fucking favorite, man. I love she thinks she Elon Musk ass. I'm like, I wish that'd be
Yeah.
cool. It's insane. I mean, that's like actually I keep saying that's the most hate. I get the most hate from like every direction. But I mean, when I started my company, I was super passionate about it. You know this. Like when I had Pace and Nip, I would go to pop-ups, fashion events. I was setting up my thing wherever and any opportunity possible. There was no like, I'm too good for this. No, nothing was everything was too good for me. That's how
Mm,
I felt.
oh,
Everything was too good for me. And I took everything in Atlanta as like, thank you so much for having me here.
right.
And like supporting my business because, I'm trying to like sell nipple covers that I'm passionate about.
Oh,
So going on the show and then hearing that, I was like, y'all have no idea the passion I have behind this business and that it is a real business.
right,
Like I had already been in big box stores. My book of business was crazy. I didn't need the show to build a book of business.
right, right.
Now to be, obviously sales don't lie. Did business flux upwards after the show? Of course. And I would say that's my favorite part about the haters because y'all can be hating, but I see you buying the pasties. So, like, do what you want to do. I'm glad you're pasting your nips.
Right. Yes.
So that's fine. That's fine. Hate on me, but like, that's cool. I see you. Your
Yeah.
order's coming in the warehouse. Um, that's all right. So it's been a cool journey. I love entrepreneurship. And I think that what's crazy is being on the show pushed me to my next endeavor to be
Yeah.
more like you, like to be more open about mental health. Let's talk about it. Let's find solutions. And it's cool to have a community now that the people stay when they believe in you.
Yeah.
So when you have that community, it's really badass because it's
Hmm.
like you're doing stuff for your community. And now that's
Right.
what I'm doing.
I love that.
And that part's it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you really have done a exceptional job. I mean, just as a viewer, as your friend, like watching everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, you really have cultivated a community. And, just like I was saying earlier, I did a whole story yesterday on my Instagram stories, and I was like, I felt so detached and everything because I'm not talking to them ever. Like I sometimes here and there and stuff, but I'm like, oh my God, I felt so like
It's a real thing. They want to hear
they
they
do.
believe in you. They come to you for advice. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a real thing. It's very hard, right? It is hard because you got to show up. But I
right.
think they don't care how you show up.
I know.
Just show, you know how it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
I mean, I like feel like if I don't see you posting, I'm like, where's Kelly at? Because you do post stuff about like your life and you're vulnerable and your meals and your workouts and where you're at mentally or for me, I remember specifically you posting when you go out and you drink and then when
Yeah.
you don't drink. And those really resonate with me when you post
Yeah.
about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people remember that shit.
Yeah,
Really
which I
do.
love. But it's interesting because I think what I was struggling with is like even I had this inner dialogue. So I went to Arizona for like 4.5, 5 days, like a couple weeks ago. And I think I posted something on that like Friday, and then I hadn't posted again until like that following Thursday or Friday. And plus, y'all didn't know where I was, because I just went on a little family trip. But I was like, I don't know, it felt good to just like not be on social media and kind of disconnected for a little bit. But I was like, how do I like come back? Like it was weird. Like I was like, how do I come back? It's like I feel like I almost need to apologize. Like, sorry guys, I've been away. Like it
Right?
felt
We're
like
still feeling back.
yeah, like there's like a disconnect. But then there was also this thing. I'm like, I've been gone for a week and like I checked my messages. I didn't have like one message to be like, Holly, is everything okay? Are you okay? Not one. I'm
Well,
like,
because I think
my
it's
community really doesn't care about me.
they do, but you know how it is. It's like reciprocated. Like they want to hear from you, then they'll talk back
Right,
because
right.
they're part of your journey. Um,
Yeah.
I was really doing the YouTube thing hard at the beginning, and
Yeah,
it
right.
was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, and it's funny because I stopped because it's just too much, Kelly. Like it's just fucking too much. You can't do the
Yeah.
TikTok and YouTube and Instagram.
Yes.
So, and YouTube is a different beast. So I kind of stopped doing it. But then my community, I think I only have like I had 2,000 followers on there, but they would like message on different videos and be like, where are your videos at? Like you
Yeah.
stopped posting. I'm like, damn, man, my little community.
Yeah.
They're so important.
It's
That's
so
2,000 people. That's so many people that
that's
were
a lot
looking
of
forward to
people.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I know. I definitely got, the last few years I was in my head and I got, I was being a baby and a brat. Like,
It's tough.
you know,
Well,
part
I
of
will,
me. I mean, yes, I show up and I'm very vulnerable and I'm truthful and all the things, and I am authentically me, but there's a very big part of me that wasn't fully showing up, or I can be highly like influenced, I guess, by other people's content sometimes. And I'm like, oh, like,
yeah,
oh, that's really good. Maybe I should like post something like that too, versus it coming from me.
what you want to post.
Yeah, what I want
Yeah,
to post.
it's
So yeah,
tough.
it's been interesting. It's been a very interesting world to navigate. And I'm like, that's what and also, again, kind of me being just like selfish and stuff. I'm like, I see people with extremely less following than I have that literally have a community of, and whether it's 12 people,
Right?
but they're like,
Talking to
sending
them,
links
all I
out and like
love it.
talking to them all the time. And I'm like, what am I doing
They're
wrong?
my inspos. I fucking love those people. They
I
have like
love
a
them.
thousand followers and they treat those thousands like, oh, they're like,
Yeah.
I'm here for y'all. I'm showing up every day. I'm about that. One of
I
my favorite, I've been speaking at some like fashion conferences here and there. And a lot of times I've been telling, Gen Zs, these girls who ask for advice with entrepreneurship and social media. One of my biggest things I tell these girls is like, be really mindful about who you're following and filling up your mental real estate with, because exactly what you're saying, they will influence literally your day-to-day decisions.
yeah,
Please be mindful of who you're following. And I know it's really hard to figure out who's being real and who's not, but I feel like your gut knows. And
yeah,
like, although addicting, unfollow, man.
yeah,
Really follow the ones that bring you up, not the people that make you want to change your ways, the people that inspire you
yeah,
in a good
absolutely.
way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was very jealous, lack of a better word. I was very jealous of like some of my castmates, other reality TV people, and I would not unfollow them, but I would just go and mute their stories and their feeds so that I'd have to
I
like
don't
type a
see.
search bar to go to their stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to feel that way. That feels so icky. But I'm like, but it was real and that
It's
helped.
natural. It's
Yeah.
natural. You're gonna feel that way when you're like, what am I doing? Why am I not getting that opportunity?
Right.
What
Yes.
am I? Why am I not good enough for what they're doing?
Right. Oh, that was, yeah. Whenever things like all the, after like all the additional Love is Blind seasons come out and like
Yeah.
our cast, being able to like go and do things,
Yep.
events and activities. And I never asked. I wasn't invited to be on Perfect Match. I wasn't invited to like when season 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 rolled out, was never invited to do anything Love is Blind related. And I'm like, is like, do they hate me? What? And it's fine, but I'm just creating stories in my head. And granted, I wasn't dramatic on reality TV, like, but I'm still like a nice person and I cheer people on and give
You
me
are
an
real.
opportunity.
You really are. I mean, I will say one thing. You fucking, that's it. You need more. We need you to do some crazy shit in Atlanta. It's time
Yeah,
for you to be a little more wild out here and dramatic.
I agree. I agree. Well, it's so funny because that's like another thing too. I get ideas in my head, whether it's like creating a reel or just whatever. And I'm like, if people were like out and about with me, like on a Friday night, like they would not see a different version of me, but just see an
You.
extension of me that,
Yeah.
yeah, they would see me. Like
Because
they would
people
get
think they
the
know
real
you,
me.
but even on the show, that wasn't you.
Right. No, it wasn't. I had, it's so funny. One of my really good friends, she texted me, obviously, she watched a handful of the episodes when our season aired, and she was like, Kel, this is really uncomfortable for me to watch. And I was like, what? And I had not heard that from anyone, still haven't heard that from anyone, but she was like, it's so uncomfortable because it's just not you anymore. Like maybe that, I mean, yes, I kind of knew that girl, but something about you that wasn't you. And I
Yeah.
it's really weird.
And obviously that doesn't help because then you're hearing from your closest friends, like the world seeing a not me version.
Right.
See, that's the thing, Kelly, I think with mine, my friends were like, damn, they got you. That was you. I was like, shit. I was like, that's not good. But they also didn't show me laughing once. So that's crazy.
They didn't
But
show
they
you
got,
all the
I
time.
don't think they just showed me as like the serious person, which is cool, but I didn't get that whole edit. Editing's a real thing, and that's fine. That's TV. But it
Right.
really affects people's perception of you. And I think that it has made it easier going back to what we're talking about when you're like I don't know if I want to make this real. I make them because I'm like, that's what I was on the show. That's who I am now when I make this real. For
Right.
you, it's like, well, people are gonna think I'm fucking faking because they saw this
Right.
different Kelly. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, what is she doing? This isn't Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. Yeah, it does. It feels that way. Like I feel like they don't really know the real me.
You need to just start doing you.
I am. Yeah. That was like my coming out video yesterday on my stories. I was like,
You
I'm
did
ready
a
to talk to you guys
you
again.
did a video that I loved. I don't know, you were like dancing, but it was recent. You were dancing in front of something. It was like a backdrop, a green backdrop picture. I'll have to show you. I'll DM you after this. But I
Okay.
loved it because it didn't feel icky. You said icky earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man, look at her. I was like, that's just her. It was a good video.
Okay, good. I love
Yeah, for real. Because I
that.
know you outside of
Yeah.
this and Netflix and me being on a show, and I was like,
True.
that's a good video. She's
Thanks.
doing,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I did an Instagram live last night of just like an unboxing. I've like never done that before. And I was like, this
Was
is
it?
so fun.
If you fucking like it, do it. If one person shows up, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Claudia. I'm like, thanks for coming. I don't give a shit. I did like YouTube live stream twice, and I
Yeah.
don't know, I had like 50 people show up, and I was like, 50 people spending their nights
Right.
watching me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I'm like, well, that was it too. It's like I'm all about gratitude and law of attraction, all the things. I'm like, oh my God, like I've been living in this fucking victim mindset, this scarcity mindset for the last 4 years. I'm over it. I'm done. Like,
You also didn't know how to navigate it. Like it was a
no, I
different
don't.
world
Yeah.
when you did it. It's different than when I did it. Post me doing it, it's not COVID. Like COVID wasn't upon us, and there's been multiple seasons of Love is Blind now. I'm the
Yeah.
second season of Ultimatum. Like, you learn from other castmates, which I feel
True.
bad for saying that because it's like we have to learn on y'all's fucking
Right. Yeah.
traumas, but we
Yeah.
do, like because you learn every season. They're like, okay, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to strategically plan what I'm going to do after the show.
Right.
Y'all didn't
Right.
do that shit.
We did not. And like I said from the very beginning, like I'm not a reality TV junkie. Like, I mean, yes, I've watched maybe one full season from episode one all the way through of The Bachelor. Maybe one season. I watched one season of Summer House on Bravo. Like, I don't watch. Otherwise, yes, I've binged the Love is Blind seasons, but
Yeah.
that is it. Just
Yeah.
more or less because I'm just supportive of, my future
Other
people.
castmates. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, like I remember I told one of my best friends a couple weeks before, maybe it was like 2 weeks before we were going to film. I was like, hey, yeah, I got accepted to do the show. And she was like, come over here like tonight. And I was like, okay. So I get over there and she like pulls up some like 90 Day Fiance or some show, right? And she was like, Kelly, and this girl's like a makeup artist. So she was like, Kelly, first of all, you have to know how to do TV makeup or you're gonna look
Shit.
real bad.
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I still didn't cake it on. I mean, granted, whatever. Like, I don't care, but like, I didn't cake it on because it was like, I don't know how to do this. It felt caked on. It didn't look caked on.
Can we quickly talk about no matter how professional you are or beautiful, you will never look good on reality TV.
No, no, no.
Or if you do, you're housewives of Beverly Hills and you have a makeup artist every day. No way. I looked at myself, I was like, no way do I look like that. Also, we're exhausted. You're not eating, you're drinking, you're not sleeping,
Yeah.
you're stressed.
Yeah, all the things, all the things. Yeah. So it's like she had me to come over and then she was like, because this girl, she watches reality TV. Like she is a
Isn't
reality
it?
TV junkie. So she's like, we got to do the makeup. Like, I can't believe you almost left here without telling me. Oh my God. You have to go get this makeup and this and this and this and like sent me to like a little beauty counter and got my stuff. I
You're
was like,
like,
oh my God.
oh, you're like, I don't have time for this. Also,
Yeah.
I'm already stressed. I'm already
Yeah.
stressed.
I'm like dropping 300,000, not 300,000, $300 on
Pretty
makeup
much. Back then,
for
you were like, I don't have the money for this.
exactly. I didn't have the money for it. I was like, oh my God, like this is unreal. And then, but yeah, but like because obviously I didn't really know. I mean, I knew people that were on reality TV. I have like one girlfriend who I've become better friends with since being on the show, but I didn't know back then.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to talk. Like, I didn't know. And then, like you said, like having the team of people and like I didn't know
Yeah.
how to do anything, how to navigate any of that. Like creating content. I was like, I don't know. I felt so weird creating content. I
Right?
was losing brand deals. Like I had like a two-part brand deal with one company and I posted like the one thing and then like a month later I was supposed to post something else. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. And I was like, and it was like a 10K deal. I was like, fuck.
Well, because they also it's funny, I always talk to my agent about and it's funny saying my agent. Isn't it crazy? You're like, I have an agent now. It's
I love
wild. But it's crazy. I always tell her being on the other side because I have always been the side sending the boxes.
it. Mm,
I'm the one being like, this is the expectation, this is the contract, these are the deliverables. So now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm like, this is wild. This is actually
yeah.
crazy. And now I feel bad. I'm like, all right, that's actually good enough. Because especially if it's a startup company or like a women-owned company, I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll do that. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I get it.
That's aligned for sure.
Yeah, it's a and I get, we're all trying to help each other, but also everyone wants to make money. So like it's very
Right.
hard. And making reels is uncomfortable at first. It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
You just gotta be yourself. I gotta show you the video that I love that you did. There was
Yes,
one that you
yeah.
did, I was just like, this is her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I think I put so much pressure on myself, like, oh, well, you should be creating content like this or like that and stuff. And I'm like, this is how like I connect with people is just talking. And so that's why I was like, I'm just gonna post all up on my Instagram stories yesterday. And then I'm like, Kelly, if that's like what you're about, like if that's how you feel like you're gonna connect with someone is just to like talk to your screen and just put that up and those are your reels, just talking, like do it. Who cares? It
Well,
doesn't
my
need
head
all this
is
like aesthetically pleasing shit stuff.
no, it's crazy to
You
hear
do
you
a good
say
job.
that because in my head, when I watch your stuff, I feel like you're the most confident in that crazy perception.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, she's so comfortable on Instagram. She's so open. She's down to talk about whatever. And that is just another example of how people never know what's going on in the background. Because, like, my perception of how you are on social media is not what you're telling me.
Right. Isn't that
I
wild?
feel like, yeah, it is fucking wild. Like I feel like I've learned from you, like watching you and some other people I followed who are on Netflix shows before ours aired. I'm like, all right, this is what she's doing. Like she's posting up for food. I'm gonna post up my food. Although I don't eat as good as her, but I was like, all right, she's doing food. She's like talking about her walks in the park. I was
So
like, doing
I
really
love
good.
that.
I mean, you really
Thank
were. So like
you.
from the outside, just always remember, it's not what you're feeling because
Right.
it's stuff.
Right. Exactly. And I think too, like that's the biggest thing. I mean, granted, I've worked with a lot of like different coaches and, entrepreneurs over the last handful of years, and they're always like, when you're not showing up, you're making it about you.
Interesting.
And I was like, that's exactly where I've fucking been. I've made it
Wow.
about me. That is it. Like, I should just show up. And like I said, like doing the live last night, it was so fun for me. And I'm like, wow. And I was just like engaging, and they would ask me questions like that were totally off topic of what was going on in the video. And they were
Yeah,
just
they don't
like,
care.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, how'd you do your hair? I'm like, we're not even talking about
Anyways,
hair, but
you're like, forget this box.
I did. I like grabbed like a pen and I was like, and this is how you do it.
Yeah,
But it
for real.
felt fun.
It's true. That's good. Lives are tough. Lives are tough.
Yeah, like yeah. Lives can be definitely tough.
We could
But
do
they're
one together because I'm down. I mean, I have
yes,
no,
I do too. That would be
yeah,
so fun. Yeah.
yeah. I was
Okay,
like,
well,
comment. What are you putting this on YouTube? I was gonna say, comment
yeah.
below.
Yeah,
Comment
yeah,
below. Let us know if you want us to do a live together.
yeah.
We will show our tits. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We won't.
I'm like, I'm basically am.
YouTube will ban Kelly, so
It will ban
we're not,
me.
we're not gonna do that.
Like, Kelly, we didn't need that version of you online.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope. Nope.
oh my gosh. Okay, so we'll wrap this. We definitely will like do something fun together. Absolutely. But tell us about just briefly about your other things. Like you have Proxy and you have I'm Working Apparel as well. You still
Yeah, that's wild. Man, so I had Pace and Nip and then I've quickly just because I have all these connections in the, fashion apparel world just from doing trade shows for all these years. I was like, you know what? People are gonna shit on me for saying I'm working all the time. Like all these people are posting, like we're playing a drinking game every time Roxanne says I'm working, like we're taking shots, but like not in a fun way. Should have been fun. So I was like, I'm gonna make some sweatshirts. And it kind of just like cruise. I was like, damn, people like these sweatshirts that say I'm working. So
I
I
love
kind
it.
of started that very, Easy, not too much hard work. I designed the sweatshirts, partnered with some people to make them, and just kind of a seamless side hustle. And
Mhm.
then starting a new company, Proxy, very passionate. I mean, Pace and Nip, definitely a passion project, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I started Pace and Nip.
Yeah.
It was my first business. Proxy is like my passion project, like as an entrepreneur.
Mm,
And it's been cool to talk the mental health thing, man. I'm all about it. I'm
yeah.
here to talk about it all day.
Yeah.
I'm like the go-to person now when people are having panic attacks or anxiety. They're like calling me because I'm like, I got it. I'm dialed in. Like I
I
got
love
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be a resource for someone. I mean, it's so helpful. That's so helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Always, always. And I'm hoping that, with this new endeavor, Proxy, it can help people. I've had a lot of people ask what I do for my panic disorder. So now I'm just trying to bring that to people with
Uh,
Proxy.
I'm excited to watch it
Yeah.
unfold. Yeah.
You're going to be there in New York for the
Yeah,
launch.
I am. Oh, I can't wait. I
Gonna
can't
be
wait.
good.
Okay, so tell the people where they can find you. And of course, I can link anything to the show notes too. So
Yeah, babe. So IG Ricky Rocks underscore had that name forever. I ain't changing it. I got pasted nip underscore. I got an underscore thing. No,
yeah.
it's pasted underscore nip. I'm not
Yeah.
getting it. That goes to show how much I care. I'm like, I don't know. Um, and then we got Feel Proxy. Y'all should follow that one if you have anxiety. We put some funny, very vulnerable stuff on there. Very vulnerable videos.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Like I said, I just discovered that today. So
Yeah.
I was scoping things out. But
Yeah.
anyway, thank you so much for sharing yourself with us.
Babe, I feel like honestly it's been too long. Kelly was at my last time I saw you was the launch part or the
Yeah.
airing party for Ultimatum. Of
Yeah.
course she came and supported. She always does.
Absolutely. It was
She
so
always
fun.
does. But it's been too long. Next time in person, let's do this.
Yeah. We definitely will. I need to make a note that anyone who I book in Atlanta, I need to do them in person.
100%. It's
Yeah.
so fun. It'd be like a
Yeah.
4 hour thing though.
No. That'd
We
be
should
great.
do YouTube live, honestly,
That'd
together.
be fun. We could do
For
that.
real.
That'd be
We
so
should like
fun.
order clothes from ASOS and then just try it on. That's not mental health, but like
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, but it is because feeling something to
Feels
make you feel better and
good.
100%. I think it is. I definitely think it is. Because I'll
I'm
go
just
in
trying
my
to make an
closet.
excuse.
I am always purging stuff in my closet. My mom makes a joke. She's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm going through my closet. You've been doing that for 6 years. I know, but like there's always something to get rid of because something doesn't feel good anymore.
That's good. Actually, that's so healthy to do. I did that with
Yeah,
my closet. It was the best feeling. It was
it's
the
so
best. I was
yeah.
like,
I'll let it go. Oh my God. But yeah, let's definitely plan something. But thank you
cool,
so much
babe.